Hi, my name is Rini Naidu. I am a media producer. A little bit about myself. I would say I'm quirky, a little bit geeky, and yeah, all around huggable person.
My name is Mautsa, so I am a singer, songwriter, performer, instrumentalist, musician, and an all-round woman, a writer as well, a lecturer, and an arts facilitator, a woman who's literally taking her journey into her own stride.
Hi, my name is Jane Akura. I'm a civil engineer by profession, working at Zutari, formerly known as Orocon, as a water engineer. Apart from that, I'm also a YouTuber and a fashion blogger. I'm also an entrepreneur. I'm currently selling African attires and African jewelry under the name of African Closet. So basically, the reason why I started the African Closet is for us to come to a point where you find pride in what you wear, something that comes from your continent and something that speaks to your true nature. So any outfit that I wear and I see people saying, oh, how much was that? And I'm like, okay, I'm the one who designed it, so if you want it, I can get it to you. Just being that person who's able to inspire people with the clothes that I wear, and I know it's clothes that speak to my identity, is something that brings me fulfillment. And then also at the same time, on YouTube, I basically talk about anything and everything, including relationships when I give out the tea, and then as well as just how to better yourself, how to grow, and especially with regards to career-wise, and women who want to go into science, and more specifically engineering, because apparently it's a male-dominated field. So having women in that space and just encouraging women to go into that space brings me so much fulfillment. So on YouTube, I'm called Akura Closet Trade. On Instagram, I'm called Akura Closet Trade. And then for the business, it's African Closet Trade. Yes. African Closet, not African Closet Trade, African Closets. That's me.
My name is Rebecca, and I am a resilient, brave, quiet strength kind of woman, but what I do is I'm actually a coach, I'm a facilitator, as well as a business leader.
Hi, my name is Gina Swartz. I am 27 years old. I'm a candidate attorney at Pierre Crane Attorneys, which is based in Centurion. I'm also a brand ambassador for Positive Pants, who has a sisterhood for empowerment of women as well.
Greetings, beautiful people. My name is Asta Kuppen, and I am the director and poetry curator at Chasing Dreams Publishing. We make your book real.
Hi, my name is Anesu Mautsa. I am the founder of We Are Becoming, which is an initiative centered around encouraging and empowering women to become the most confident, vibrant, and unique version of themselves.
The first time I felt inadequate was probably way back when I was a kid. I wasn't the smartest person in school. I really wasn't. There were certain subjects that I couldn't deal well, and I felt like very inadequate that I couldn't reach the standards that my parents and expectations people had for me. You know, your parents had the best intentions and you feel like you're letting them down if you don't reach their goals. And then you realize really much later on in life that your goals are more important than anybody else's goals, and what you can achieve is more than enough than anybody else can. I learned there's only two things a person can do: how a person thinks and how a person reacts. And if we give people that power of how they make us think and how they make us react, then we gave everything to everybody. So I feel like if you can control how you feel, and you can know your worth and know what you are, then you don't need to worry about inadequacies. You yourself are enough. You know, it's such few words that have such a powerful message behind it. More than enough, because you always thought that you're not pretty enough, you're not skinny enough, you're not beautiful enough, you're not smart enough. But yet you look at other people's lives, you're never looking at your own. But you look at your own, you see all the accomplishments that you yourself have done, and you know that you're more enough. You're more than enough to be capable of anything, only if you have the mindset and the perseverance to do so. I think this message means so much because you need to say it out loud enough for you to believe it, that you are more enough to achieve anything that you want. Nothing can hold you back. Your limits are limitless.
The first time I felt inadequate was when I was in primary school. I was teased and bullied, not once, not twice, but several times. The feeling that it gave me was inadequacy first and foremost, insecurities. You start looking at yourself and thinking, are you good enough? And what bullying and teasing does to children, it instills this childhood trauma. And what it does is you carry that with you as an adult. And I did. And I have had to learn in so many ways to overcome that. And even at 26, I mean, these events happened when I was about 6, 7, and even at the age of 26, I am still consistently learning and unlearning how to love myself better. How I've overcome inadequacies, or how I've learned to overcome inadequacies in my everyday life, has been through looking inwards, reflecting, self-introspection, looking at where I am, but also looking at where I want to be and how far I've come. You know, so often we do this thing where we say, I'm not where I want to be, right? But it's important for us to take a moment and look at where you are, and also look backwards at where you used to be and make that comparison to say, I am definitely not where I want to be, but at the same time, where I am is a beautiful place, or maybe not such a beautiful place, but I'm also not where I used to be. So it's so important to just make that choice to reflect, to self-introspect, and to look inwards and say, I've learned. And what's also important that I've learned in overcoming my everyday inadequacies in my everyday life is forgiving myself for certain things that I've allowed to happen, and also forgiving those who took part in those particular events. Why these affirmations that I have spoken of so far resonate with me is because we've been through so much as women, and as an individual myself, I've been through a lot. And learning the power of reflection, introspection, and forgiveness, and loving oneself with where you are resonates with me, because if it hadn't been for these affirmations, I wouldn't be where I am. It's also through seeing other women and other people overcome their inadequacies, their traumas, their pain, that I felt, actually, if they can do it, so can I. And that's why those affirmations resonate with me.
Well, the first time I felt inadequate should be this year, and leave alone just the COVID part of it, but it's something to do with not knowing what the future holds for me. Every single time it's been, oh listen, things are going well from undergraduate. So basically the growth side of my life, where there's this issue, there's the feelings of inadequacy, would come when I'm older, not when I was younger. So since, let's say, since 2014 to now. But 2014 to 2017, when I finished my undergraduate, things were good. I knew, okay, fine, next step, let's move into postgraduate. There's a scholarship offering more money, everything is okay. Then we get to honors, after finishing it, and I didn't get the marks that I was required to get to go into my master's. And now I'm feeling very inadequate to a point where I'm like, do I really deserve to be here? Am I good enough to be here? But being someone who's very, very goal-oriented, I was like, listen, you were supposed to go to masters, that's where you're going to go. And I went to my HOD and I was like, listen, my guy, I need to do this, so you have to give me a chance. And they gave me a chance, and then fast forward the second year, which is now 2020, things haven't been easy with regards to the COVID-19. You're not sure what's going to happen, and especially economy-wise, I'm here finishing masters, I'm looking for work. Every single time it's rejection. You're not sure what, because you're hearing stories of retrenchment, and you're not sure, okay, is the economy ever going to come back to the same spot where it was? And being in engineering, it's a very political, more or less political and economically affected field, because is the money available to do the project, or is there any projects to be done at that particular time? So that fear just made me feel so inadequate. Am I going to be able to take care of my family next year? How am I going to live? Am I staying in South Africa, or do I have to go back to Kenya, which was never the plan, being that I'm Kenyan. But let's say when you feel your lowest, when you feel like everything is just shattering, that's when God picks you up. And everything worked out. The company that rejected me 4 times, actually, 2 of them in this 2020, gives me a phone call, and at the end of the day I get the job. And it's been my dream company, a company that I remember speaking these words into existence in 2017 saying, I am going to work here. So just having that faith, and as much as it's dying, but trying so hard to keep it going and just holding yourself up in faith and knowing that God is still going to come through is how I deal with my inadequacy. Just being very positive, keeping a very positive mindset, having the right people around me, people like Anesu, people like my best friend, people like my supervisor actually, and who constantly just remind me, you're good enough, you deserve to be here. There's no need for you to feel like you cannot achieve anything in life that you set your mind to. And also the one big thing that I learned this year was, as much as I felt like I wasn't good enough, I would look back into my journey and the things I've achieved so far and be like, Jane, you've done well. You are going to do well. This is just one of those obstacles in life, but you're going to achieve it. You're more than enough because you know what you're capable of. So just constantly reminding myself that I am good enough, and having people around me to remind me that I am more than good enough. So this affirmation resonates with me because I believe that I have something to offer in this world. And so being able to remind myself that, Jane, you're more than enough, is me doing justice, not just to myself, but to also people around me. And the closest people would be my young sisters, would be my nephews, would be my nieces, and then also the friends that I have around me. So being able to just hold myself up and say, Janie, you're more than enough, is something that I know I'm not doing it for myself. I'm doing it for everyone around me, and the energy that I give out affects more than just one person. And just being able to have people around me say, Jane, you know you have achieved this. Listen, you've done your masters, you've done this, you're doing business right now. Just makes me feel like I am doing so much, because I can tell the next person, you can also be an engineer, you can also be an entrepreneur, you can also do work on your passion at the same time, as much as you're trying to grow your career. So yeah, that's the reason why I feel like just constantly reminding myself that I am good enough, I am more than enough, is something that is worthwhile in my life.
The first time I felt inadequate was when I experienced rejection. Rejection on a playground, I was playing with some friends, and they all decided to be friends with someone else. And I was left out in the cold. I didn't feel part of the sisterhood. And that was when I just realized anything associated with rejection really made me feel inadequate. I would ask myself questions like, why am I not good enough? Why didn't they pick me? Why didn't they choose me? Why are they not, choosing to stay with me? So that's when I felt inadequate. I've learned to overcome inadequacy in my everyday life by understanding that I am more than enough. And being more than enough does not always depend just solely on me. I can leverage and rely on the people around me, like my friends, my family, and my network when it comes to business. Because many times inadequacy refers to things like maybe lack of skills, when you feel like you don't have enough resources, not enough information to make a certain decision. And that can now translate into feelings of inadequacy. And also feeling inadequate also appeared when I felt like I was comparing myself to other people. So everyday tools that I apply for myself is to also stop comparing myself with others, and knowing that, I'm different. I might not be perfect, but I do have more than enough to give in every situation that I need to deal with. And where I am lacking, again, I need to gain the right skills. I need to leverage the right information, but also lean on the people that I need to get help from. The affirmation, more than enough, resonates so much with me because it speaks from a position of abundance. It speaks from a position of where you look at life not from a place of lack or being insufficient, or where you feel like you're not good enough, or you're not lovable. It really is an empowering affirmation. So for me personally, I remember working on my vision board, I started saying to myself, Rebecca, even if someone rejects you, that's not a reflection of your value. So you're more than enough. You're more than enough to love yourself from a self-love perspective, and other people who are going to resonate with you will see that you add value to their lives and you are more than enough in their world for them as well. So you're not having to measure up and falling short to so many people that might have rejected you in the past. So this resonates with me on so many levels. From a work perspective, the experience, the capabilities, the talent, including the potential that I have, is reaffirming to me that I am more than enough.
So the first time I felt inadequate, or the main actual point where my inadequacy has resonated or has made a massive impact in my whole journey currently, was when I was told at the mere age of 10, I know that most people think, how can she remember from that far back, but it really rippled out into my daily life, who I ended up growing into, and kind of woman that I am currently right now, is I was told you would look so much prettier, you would be so much more beautiful, you would be a woman if you lost X amount of weight, if you looked prettier, if you were smaller, if you achieved this level of achievement. So in doing that, it made me feel less of a person as a self, less of a woman, less of who I am trying, obviously, to growing up, defining who I am as a person. So always feeling inadequate, always feeling like I was not worthy or literally not enough at that point in time. So learning through being told that I will only be beautiful, I'll only be pretty, I will only be a woman, a beacon to other women when I looked a certain way, if I was speaking in a certain way, if I achieved certain things. And in going through that whole path, as I said earlier, is that you need to find what is worthy to you. You need to find your own value, your own attributes. You need to realize that not only will everyone else have opinions, not only will everyone who has their own viewpoint, the only thing you can control is your own outcome, your own, how would I say, not only outcome, but your own response to everything that they are saying. So yes, there will always be people for many years to come who will tell you you are not enough, you're not pretty, you can only achieve and be valued if you achieve this, if you look a certain way, if you weigh a certain weight. But if you are being healthy, if you are being happy, if you are learning to be strong, you will find your voice, you will find your value, you will know that you are beautiful, that you can do anything that you want, that you are enough, and you will find your space in this world, and you can just do anything that you want. So only of late, literally during the lockdown period, did I really have the time and the much needed restriction to actually go and do introspective mindset work. And in doing so, I worked through so many limiting beliefs, worked literally on my inner demons. And in doing so, I found and realized that all the past trauma, all the past, let's say, bad aspects has grown and shaped me into how I am now. I know that they always say, if things that didn't hurt you or break you will literally make you stronger. As cliche as that might sound, it literally is the truth. So I found that with all the hate speech, with all the negativity, with people's opinions, and just also with my outlook and my way of handling it, I realized that as hard and as scary as it might be, you need to set those boundaries. You need to find that and realize that because you exist, you are worthy. Because you are a woman, you are strong. Yes, they say women are strong, yes, feminism, empowerment, but you need to really believe that. You need to go deep into yourself and do the hard work. Go and clear out all the clutter, clear out the noise. Forget about the constraints that your parents have deposed onto you, what society has deposed onto you, what bringing up in your schools have deposed onto you, and just find your own voice, find who you are as a person, what your purpose is, what you want to bring to your life, what you want to do and bring to others. Yes, everyone is yes, but it's all about me. To an extent, by all means, do the work for yourself, but also realize that you are not alone in your journey. There are so many other people out there that, when you might not realize, they are going through exactly the same thing. Through my journey of transformation, physically, mentally, I've met so many women and men who go through exactly what I have, and it's not being spoken about at all. Abusive relationships within romantic partners, with parents, with just other women in general. So speak about your journey, express your journey, share your journey, find and realize your true worth, know that you're, and truly believe it. Look at yourself in the mirror and just know that you're worthy. Tell yourself you're worthy, know that you're beautiful, and just literally being grateful for that and knowing that and reminding yourself every single morning, you can overcome any negativity, any barrier that comes to yourself. You will know that because you exist, you're worthy, you are enough, and that alone will get you through pretty much 99 or all obstacles that face your way. So I'm enough resonates with me just because that was my affirmation. My affirmation every morning was, and still is, I am enough, I'm worthy because I exist. Something simple as that was something that I needed to hear every single day, because I felt for many years, but only of late during through mindset training, that I realized I need to reaffirm this. I need to reprogram my mind. I need to tell myself that I am deserving of X, Y, and Z. I can do X, Y, and Z. With me doing my type of training, my physical powerlifting training, I knew that yes, it was helping me with my mental benefits, my physical benefits, physical health benefits as well. But for me to be able to, for instance, deadlift 120 kilograms or do a bench press or squat of 100 kilograms, I knew that I had to get over that mental block that I am worthy, I can do it. If they are doing it, why not? Why, as a woman who was training primarily with men, why can I not do it just because they say you can't because you're a girl, you're a female, you can't do these things. So something small in that just little aspect can resonate with me, that I am enough. So yes, it resonated with me with regards to my training specifically, but it's also resonated with me with how I approach other women and my relationship with other women and with my mother specifically. So I am enough helped me to be the woman that I am today. I am proud of the woman that I am today. I absolutely love the woman I am today. I'm kinder to the woman I am today because I am enough. Simple as that.
Opportunities to feel inadequate are never ending in a world where you feel so much. Something I can recollect happened very recently was I was invited to be a part of a documentary titled Appreciate Mosadi. This is a production by Noctula Media, and what they try to highlight is the strength of everyday women and the influence that they make in society that often goes unrecognized. As I said here, being in front of the camera can get a little uncomfortable, but they highlighted the things that I did in my career and my everyday life in the way that my influence created a ripple effect. What was hard about that was On camera, I had to speak on the women they had interviewed and got to know over the previous few months during the preparation phase. But at the time, I was dealing with a lot of lack of identity, imposter syndrome, reassessing who I am, who I was, and who I could possibly be. But they were talking about the strength of a woman, but I'd never felt so weak. I was dealing with the ridicule of a multitude of voices in my head, of people's criticism, their opinions of me, and where I do stand strong on a day-to-day basis, that period of my life, I felt particularly vulnerable and inadequate. I was allowing their criticism to be my identity, and everything I did where people were seeing me, I felt the insecurities were going to seep through the cracks and they would know that I wasn't being authentic. I've learned to overcome inadequacy in my everyday life by taking responsibility for my emotions. As much as the situations you're thrown into have an impact on how you feel, people don't necessarily have to carry the burden or the brunt of making you feel okay. And once you realize that, you can start to step into your own and take charge of the future that you're looking to have. So as much as we need to be responsible for our actions, we also need to be responsible for the words we use and how we impact the world around us. This affirmation resonates with me because we are enough, whether you are empathetic, understanding, or you lead your life with love. It's not a weakness. If anything, it's a superpower.
The first time that I experienced inadequacy was in grade 4. So I'm originally from Zimbabwe. I was born there and we moved to South Africa in 2003. And I remember on the first day of school, 2 girls were assigned to look after me, right? And I remember these 2 girls left me during break time, and that truly made me feel like something was wrong with me. Why didn't you want to hang out with me? What's wrong with me? And I remember spending that break alone. And that was the first true experience that I can remember and recall of inadequacy. And so from that day on, I always felt like, in various spaces, I always felt like there's something wrong with me. There must be something wrong with me. So when someone rejects me, when someone leaves my life, when someone cuts me off, when someone's upset at me, I would internalize that hurt and that pain and come up to the conclusion that there's something wrong with me.
And then
I don't like my answer for that.
do you want to
I want to redo it. But Diwa, what's going on with me today? What's happening?
trying to protect yourself emotionally?
Why am I doing this? Because I love speaking on this stuff.
Yeah, but
I love being on camera. I love it all.
I don't know. You need to tell me. You need to tell me.
Okay.
Are you good?
I don't know why I'm so caged up.
Are you stressed or something?
Yeah, I think I'm stressed. I think I'm overwhelmed. I think I'm overwhelmed and I'm also just exhausted. But I'm also tired of feeling inadequate. Like, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of the fact that we have to continually fight for ourselves. And it's life. And it's not going to change. But it's hard. It's hard. So I'm tired. My soul is tired. I'm tired of fighting for this little girl and my wounded inner child, you know? And I feel as though we make the journey sound so beautiful and so lovely, but it actually is tears and it's hard work and it's rejection and it's exhaustion and it's burnout and it's fear, because inadequacy feeds directly into fear of discovering how powerful and incredible you are, fear of being rejected. You know, that's what inadequacy is. So I think we experience inadequacy in so many different spaces, in the workplace, at church, in our homes, in various spaces. We are always faced with inadequacy. And I think, most days we feel like we're not enough. We are not enough to play out these roles. We're not enough in our jobs. We encounter this all the time. And I think it's not necessarily something that one day you just overcome. I think it's just a journey that you go through. The more self-aware you are, the more you connect with your strengths and your weaknesses, the easier it is to face inadequacy. The more you start loving the things of the parts of yourself that you hate, and the more you develop your weaknesses, turn them into strengths, the easier it becomes to handle inadequacy. The words "more than enough" almost feel like they're too good to be true, especially when you don't believe it, especially when you go to work and you're so unsure of yourself, or you are in spaces where you feel like you're not equipped enough to show up. I truly feel as though the root of inadequacy affects so many areas of our lives. It shows up in our relationships. It shows up in our friendships. It shows up in our workplaces. It shows up everywhere. And I think the sooner we learn how to deal with inadequacy, and the sooner we begin to love ourselves, the more impact we make, the more we connect with people on a newer level, on a deeper level, the more we show up in the fullness and the wholeness of who we are. And essentially that's what I want to see amongst women. I want us to begin to love ourselves more. We say self-love, we say this and we say that, but I want us to intentionally go on the journey of learning ourselves and accepting who we are, accepting the weaknesses, and loving those parts of ourselves. That's why this affirmation, "more than enough," means a lot to me, because inadequacy is not just, it's bigger than what it comes across as. So it's not just inadequacy, it's walking into spaces and shrinking so everyone around you can shine because you don't feel like you're enough. It's compromising on your values and your principles in relationships because you don't feel like you're enough and you don't want to be rejected. It shows up everywhere, and it needs to be challenged and it needs to change. That is why "more than enough" means everything to me. 2021 for me is going to be the year of being more than enough, the year of living like I'm more than enough, the year of walking like I'm more than enough, the year of knowing and understanding that I've got so much to give the world, that there is space and room for me. Even when I feel scared, even when I shrink down, even when I silence myself, there is room for me. And that's why this matters. That's why being more than enough, knowing that you're more than enough, matters. This affirmation, that's why it matters to me.
For just coming, and firstly I know a lot of you guys are traveling from far, so I really appreciate that. Thank you for availing yourselves, thank you for making time. Thank you for showing up in your fullness and being willing to just open up on camera as well. It's a big thing. Yeah, I really appreciate it. To me, guys, my bestie.
Yeah, well done,
Thank you
Megan.
so much for this.
Yeah.
Grinding in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Grinding in the kitchen. Yeah, to be more than enough. And yeah, 2021 for me is the year of living like I'm more than enough, walking like I'm more than enough, showing up in my fullness and not being scared to just be myself and love myself and accept myself for all that I am, weaknesses and strengths. Yeah, so I'm proud of you. Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you. Bye.
Yes.
You gonna make me cry. Y'all gonna make me cry, but yeah.
Well, cheers, eh?
Cheers to
More than
you.
enough.
Cheers to you.
More
Cheers
than enough.
to you.
Cheers to you.
Next sex
Well
organizing this.
done. Cheers. Cheers.
One comes around one today. They don't see things the same. Two one by two out the door. There you have magic. One comes around one today. They don't see things the same.
My name is Unisex, and I am more than enough.
My name is Kamohelo Matoso, and I am more than enough.
My name is Jane Akura, and I'm more than enough.
My name is Rebecca, and I'm more than enough.
My name is Gina Swartz, and I am enough.
My name is Sasta Cooper, and I'm more.
My name is Anesu Mautsa, and I am more than enough.